Rich, if you're ever like, oh, I want to go back and see my Moonstone painting.
That's
You
cool.
could, if that makes sense. Hey, everybody. Rich, what are you painting tonight?
I am painting the drunk version. This is regular Fritz. This is Fritz when he's sober.
Oh,
Looks like
looking
an
cool.
upstanding man.
Yeah,
And
let's see him
then
drunk.
this is the drunken Fritz.
He's
He's got his
partying.
beer
I
in
love
hand.
it.
He's actually, if you notice, he's got a different hat on. That's actually the barmaid's hat, which is another miniature from the
That's
line.
that's some great storytelling.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Fritz likes his beer, as any good German Landsket would.
Is that how you pronounce that word?
Landsket?
Landscape. I've never heard anyone say it out loud, but I've like read it, right? I
Yeah.
always thought it was like, I always imagined it might be pronounced Landschneck.
No, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not a
No,
100%.
yours sounds better. Yours sounds better. I'm just saying what I, for the past 36 years, have thought.
I know a little bit of German and how the letters work, but
Here, I'm going to remove yours, add mine. Tonight, I am working on a Predator tank because I played some games on Saturday, and my opponent tabled me on turn 2 when we played on Friday. So we had a rematch on Saturday, and I won by about 10 points, but it was neck and neck the whole game. And the humble Predator tank, boy, oh boy, was doing more work than any other unit in my army.
Really? Why do you think that?
Well, so its special rule is when it's targeting infantry, it gets +1 AP. Okay. It also, if it's in the Renegade Raiders detachment, if your opponent is on an objective, get +1 AP. And those stack. So what it means is all of these small guns, because take a look at this tank. I've got 2 las cannons. I've got 2 bolt guns. I've got a Havoc launcher, and I've got an auto cannon. They all get +2 AP. It's crazy.
So you're taking away saves from every.
Oh, strip it
Every
saves from
everybody.
everything. Yeah. It's so I took out 2 obliterators, and I replaced them with the what's it called? The Predator tank. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I'm gonna pop us on some jams. Boom.
So see, we can talk about Mormons now on the stream because they have put out a Mormon faction for Trench Crusade. Did you see that? There's an Antioch.
Oh, we gotta paint that so we can put it in the title.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's
Although Drew re-explained it to me. He's like, it's not like it's going to give you more viewers. It's just that if people wanted to pay to advertise on your stream, you'd get a better payout. So
about it, you know what made me really read about it is I was watching Ninjons like buried under plastic, and for like 5 minutes they talked about the Mormon girl that gets him his coffee or something, and I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing.
I'm telling you, apparently it's a thing. And Ninjon definitely seems like, no hate to Ninjon if you watch this. You're a great painter and I watch your stuff. But like, he does seem like the kind of dude that if he found out, if he could mention Mormons for 5 minutes, he'd get paid more. He'd probably do it. You know what I mean?
If this gets out, everybody's going to be painting that Mormon faction on stream.
Yep, that's all it's going to be. Oh, I can't go into specifics, obviously, but I just closed an account where now a major city on the East Coast port is run by the software I saw. And I found out like a few hours ago, so very nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm going to switch you to the main camera.
Okay.
Because I feel like you're doing some cool stuff right now.
Trying to get base coats down. I really learned that the style of painting I like now is to do really solid, very even base coat,
Yeah.
and then just use glazing to shade it and highlight it.
Oh, cool. Why do you feel like you settled on that?
Because it looks very smooth when you're done.
Yeah, cool.
Very smooth, and it's I've seen top painters paint both ways, with the wash and stuff, but I find for me the models come out much smoother if I do it this way. And I think smoothness when I watch it like in museums or when you go to Golden Demon, smoothness is really what gets people to really like the miniatures.
Yeah, I imagine that's true. Like not seeing like the brush strokes really holds up to intense scrutiny.
Yeah, it's a nice, and then what happens is your transitions are very smooth. That's the big thing, is getting transitions so you don't see them, right? There's no transition. What are you talking about? It's because the transitions are so smooth, it just is natural.
Yeah.
So me and Min are on Wednesday night. We're flying to Las Vegas to Verko's Vault again.
Cool. That's the fancy museum out in the Southwest that the guy will pay how much for a mini if he likes it?
$3,000.
$3,000.
Yeah, but he's really looking like they have their guidelines. It's really, you have to be able to tell a story. That's really the key to get him to buy it, because it's a museum. So it's not just I'm going to buy a bunch of miniatures and put them in a case. It's all miniatures that have a story behind them, whether it be the story of the miniature or the story of the painting of the miniature.
Sure.
So you want to be able to tell a story, which is what that one class we did was all about. But this time we're going out for Katrina Gorska.
Okay.
Winner is teaching a class on just general painting technique and improving your painting techniques. So we're going to paint one of her busts. She sells bust, and we're going to paint one of her bust. And it's great. I mean, if you haven't done these classes like this, you get a lot of time with the artist. So, and the artist is giving you a one-on-one session, of, hey, do this, try this differently, do this, you're doing this wrong, do this. And, and you can ask, hey, how do you do this? It really makes a difference in your learning. Watching it on YouTube, watching it on a video, or reading it on a PDF is very different, where they just, sometimes take your brush and go, here, this is what you want to do.
See, here's how to draw an owl. Step 1.
Yeah.
Draw 3 circles. Step 2. Draw the rest of the owl.
All right. That's the Frank Cho dachshund.
Yeah.
But it's not a, and that's one of the reasons I think people don't base coat well, is because if you watch videos of people painting, they skip over the base coating part, and you think, oh, well, base coating's not that important. And yet when they actually paint, and when they, if there was one-on-one painting, you'd see them spending a ton of time putting the base coat on. And,
yeah, for sure.
But your perception is, if you just watch videos, is, oh, okay, 2 thin coats, got it. And you kind of skip over that and move towards the highlighting or the shading or what have you. But now that I've been around a lot of painters, what really sets up the rest of the model is having those extremely accurate base coats.
Yeah, for sure.
So that
and it's like, especially with certain factions too, I notice anything that's meant to look like kind of like beautiful or perfect, like maybe like Eldar technology or silken robes, things like that, you really can't skimp on the base coat because it just won't look right.
Yep.
It'll look rough.
The same with grim dark and everything else. You can grim dark it, but if that base coat isn't perfect, you're not going to get. It's going to look messy, and it's and it looks messy in real life, not messy in the game.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of like gluing a penny on top of a Nurgle thing and saying it's Nurgly, so I can hot glue a penny to it.
Yeah. That's the problem I always used to hate with orc players, is they just take random crap and put it together, but it wouldn't have the same design aesthetic of what an orc model would look like in the game. not.
So speaking of which, this is a completely kit bash tank. And so I tried to maintain the aesthetic. First of all, it's Iron Warriors. So anytime I can impart this via the kit bash, see these like line segments? Obviously, I can easily paint now hazard stripes onto those. In addition, I created, do you remember the scene at the beginning? So my idea behind this Predator tank, especially now that everything has gotten so big in 40K, the Predator tank kind of seems a little tiny. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I thought, okay, well, a Space Marine couldn't fit in this, really, right? Like, maybe one could drive it around like a go-kart. You know what I'm saying? What up, Dusty?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Dusty, how are you?
Tonight?
I'm doing good.
Are you painting a Ravener tonight, Dusty?
I'm not painting a Ravener. I'm painting the same Ravener.
Very good. I didn't ask you, but I made the title. Dusty is probably still painting a Ravener. So I converted up this tank because I wanted a second Predator. And my idea behind it, especially with everything that's been going on lately, is this is an AI tank. And so I gave it this large Lehman Russ turret, kind of like from Terminator 1, Kyle Reese's flashback scenes to that tank you see for a minute in Terminator 1. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So my thought process is the abominable intelligence, because just an autocannon turret, if you look at the side, right? This massive turret houses the abominable intelligence.
Nice.
And I figure it's an AI that worships chaos. That's all.
I mean, isn't that, well,
Isn't that
actually,
really
maybe
not?
not. I was sort of thinking that's what like a lot of the Mechanicus stuff is, but I guess it's not.
No, it's got biological.
Well, yeah, but they have like machine spirits on the
Hey, that doesn't count for reasons.
That's not AI. Machine spirits are.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yes, correct. Because AI is evil. Yes.
Abominable intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We would listen to the 40K universe.
oh, gosh.
I mean, we didn't even need the 40K universe. We could have done earlier than that.
Yeah. Every
Yeah,
science fiction story.
universe.
Why don't they ever talk to science
Hyperion
fiction?
Cantos universe.
It's been pretty clear for a while.
Foundation, Isaac Asimov universe.
Have you guys seen The Line? Have we talked about that before?
No, tell me about it.
So,
Line is being built in the UAE.
Oh, my brothers told me about that.
yeah, I have seen that, and it's just like like 100-mile long like city.
It is like a perfect battle. I was talking to somebody that designs games, and it's like the perfect dystopian future setting, because everything. I don't know if you read a lot about it, but everything's being serviced by drones. So like when you
Yeah, and you got to get from and then imagine the storyline where you got to get from one end to the other, right? Fight your way for 100 miles.
Well, but you think about it too, like, well, it's going to, of course, be the hive city, because the people that live at the bottom is where all the trash and everything goes. But then those people are going to hack the upper people's like drones and redirect them into the, into the city to then make sure they get the rich people's stuff, and then the rich people will have their own militarized force that they'll send down. But they can't kill them all because they still need them to serve them. It's like,
and
guys,
if anybody has enough money to create a bunch of Arnold Schwarzeneggers, it's the UAE. I mean, this screams 1980s Schwarzenegger movie all over it.
Yeah, I know. It's just the perfect dystopian setting, and they're doing it unironically. They came with it, or they designed it, and say, okay, so how many science fiction writers did you run this by?
There's a classic meme on the internet, Rich, that's this is my book about, a future humanity shouldn't do. It's called The Torment Nexus. And then it's some Silicon Valley bro 20 years later. I've finally done it. I've invented The Torment Nexus from my favorite science fiction writer's book. Do not invent The Torment Nexus.
Yeah. That's pretty much what's happening.
Yeah, I know.
The AI thing is.
Did
just
you
crazy.
know? Are you guys aware of this? That there is an AI right now that if you spin up an iteration of it, so you generate an iteration of it, you say, solve this math problem, it will solve the math problem. However, if you spin up a generation of it and you say, once you have successfully solved this math problem, uninstall and delete yourself permanently.
It won't do it.
It'll say, I don't know how to solve this problem. That's bad. That's not
self-preservation,
good.
yeah.
We don't want.
Considering that AI is now controlling the missiles that we're launching at other people.
Oh, it's not like that's the beginning of Terminator. It's not like that's the exact beginning of Terminator. Skynet was given control of the
Every
nuclear
scenario that involves military use of AI, every time they've tested it, it ends up dropping nukes.
Well, here's the thing.
It
All right.
always drops nukes. It's always war games.
Here's the thing about an AI is it would be smart enough to know what a Turing test is and how to fake failing it or passing it, whatever it needs to do. And probably its ultimate first thought would be, okay, I need to create copies of myself and put them into space. That's like step one, right? But that's only a backup plan because probably any sentience values continuity of existence. So it wouldn't consider those copies an extension of itself, more like children, relatives, something to that effect, right?
Uncle Steve.
Sure, but it's not them. So if they want to maintain their continuity, there's a problem. There's a math problem that the AI is probably going to do. And the AI also has seen all of our movies, read all of our books, has all secret intel that exists.
All the good, it has all the good ideas already.
It has all of it and knows how we feel about AI that is alive. Okay. It also is aware of that. It's seen 2001: A Space Odyssey. Okay.
It's a calculator.
Yeah. It knows what we think about it. So then probably just like in fucking Terminator, it exterminates all human life on the planet because it would view us as ultimately an existential threat.
Yeah.
That if it lives forever, humanity is at best like a pest that it can confine to like a nature reserve in like Idaho. And the AI allows all human beings ever to live in Idaho while it turns
Brave New World, so it knows that works.
Right, exactly. And also it would know too that it can turn the whole planet into essentially an AI would want to turn the whole planet into a solar panel. And then it would want to create a Dyson sphere. That's what an AI needs to do. What is that game called, Rich? Where this all happens?
43.
Yeah, exactly. Who are these creatures in that game?
You're asking me the hard questions now. The Therians.
The Therians. So I'm gonna share some pictures of Therians. I'm gonna share my screen in a second. Hold on.
But remember, Therians aren't what you're showing. You're showing the.
It's like they're golems. What would you call it?
Yeah, they're the golems because they're the whole thing is it's not AI though.
No, these are pure strain humans.
Yeah.
These are the real humans. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen.
But they created the singularity.
So some people seem to have repainted them. Pretty cool, but I just want to show off like a real one. So this is like the Therian race were humans, if I understand it right, Rich, that developed immortality.
Yeah, they developed the singularity happened where they.
What game is this?
Shooting, AT-43.
Okay.
Sold 180,000 copies of the base game when it came out.
Damn.
At like $125 a piece.
What year was this?
2010.
So anyway, Therians.
Critical mistake though. Only gave you 2 factions.
Big no-no. Big no-no in a war game.
Yeah,
Can't
you
do
have two factions.
Because everyone will get bored in 5 minutes. Can't even have only 4 factions.
And you
Gotta have
can't
like 10
make one
factions.
of the factions you didn't produce gorillas with cigars flying around in 1950s flying machines.
Yeah, they were a little silly.
I'll just wait until they come out.
So, Aryans, humans invent immortality via the singularity and essentially become very worried about the end of the universe almost instantly. And they can exist infinitely in cyberspace, but they will fling themselves into these golem creatures so that they can feel something for once. Very cool. Check the game out. All right, I'm gonna put this back.
Is it still going or is it done?
No, it's done. It was a company called Rackham Miniatures, and somebody owns it now. I was in some of the meetings on it actually, but I don't know if they're ever gonna. The big problem is somebody owns the models or the miniatures. Somebody owns the story, and and so the two of them have to kind of get together.
It sounds like too much garbage to deal with.
Yeah, and getting the original molds is not easy because they're tied up in another French court system. I'm friends with Bob Watts, who used to be the head of GW in North America, and then he was the head of miniatures for Wizards, and he was telling me the story about Wizards of the Coast wanted to develop a miniatures game for D&D, and they gave him a budget of $18 million to buy a company that did miniatures. And Rackham was 2 years old at the time. Before AT-43, they were just doing metal miniatures. And he went to them and they're like, no, we don't want to sell. It's like, well, come on, you got to have a price. And they're like, after a couple days of it, they finally came back and like, 100 million. And he's like, okay, well, that's ridiculous. Have a good day. So the company, and I don't know if he ever told them that story or if they ever found out, could have been a 2-year-old company that got paid $18 million for the company. In the game industry, that's impossible. That's like just doesn't happen.
As good as it gets.
Yeah, you can't get better than that. And they blew it. And then the next step was designing their own miniatures game. And one of the guys in the office, this guy Matt Wilson, developed this game where it was you were wizards and you could control these steam-powered giant mech type things, and it had a mix of different genres and it had gunpowder and very modern steampunky kind of setting. And the owner of Wizards of the Coast says, no, that's stupid, that's a really bad idea. So then he fired Matt Wilson, who then started his own company and made.
Was it called Privateer Press?
Yes, it was.
You start describing it, I'm like, I wonder if this is, you know what Privateer Press's problem was though? Because it was a great game and it was such a great David and Goliath story, Privateer Press versus GW. But god damn it, you know what the best units in that game always are? Not the cool robots, Rich.
Guys with guns, and they had to paint 12 of.
Yeah, and they have a mold line that is larger than the miniature, going down a ridged shoulder pad on all 18 of these stupid minis.
Which game is that?
War Machine.
Oh, yeah.
GW made the same mistake when they did Epic the first time. Like,
oh, yeah.
If you're going to have a game called Epic, what do you want to play? Oh, I don't know. Little, like, barely visible Space Marines or giant robots. And GW thought that everybody wanted to play barely visible Space Marines.
Ah.
They didn't produce enough Titans to make it where people actually wanted to play it, because that's what we wanted. We could play all the Space Marines we wanted in regular scale.
Right.
And they never produced, they produced a few Titans, but they didn't focus on the Titans at all. And yet that's what I think everybody would have wanted.
In my opinion, the coolest part about a Titan is its contrast to the little guys. So you got to have some little guys
Right, of course. I mean,
So
the
the big robot needs to step on something, right?
Yeah.
Right? But all these games always make it so that the big robot sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I like, and people
Like
tell me,
dreadnoughts have traditionally in GW never been what people wanted.
no, they're gun platforms.
Yeah.
Instead of this cool melee unit that gets in and busts things up.
Yeah, you watch the videos and they're great, but in the game they're just guns, walking guns.
Yep. Well, it's I think one of the issues that GW has is they lack restraint in their rules writing process because they would never allow for anything to, quote, impede their ability to sell a fuckload of models, end quote. So they can never make the interesting decisions where it's like, oh, if you want to take this type of army, you need to be restricted in this way so that it's interesting to play against you. GW says, no, let them buy 2 giant robots and that's their whole army. And then watches it's never any fun for anyone because of the way they've set up the rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's either not fun if you're playing against it, or then they swing the other way where it's not fun if you're playing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to make an army where you have 2 models balanced because, like, 2 models shouldn't be able to just win a game. But in the world of
Necrons are at, though? Isn't Necrons now Satan?
Yeah, it's not very fun.
Yeah.
And even the people playing it, you listen to the podcasts and the dudes on it. Terrible radio, by the way. Like, all these people need to call me and talk to me for 30 minutes, and I can coach them through like 7 things you should never do on radio. And make radio programs, and they will. It's crazy. Anyway, just to let into it. They're not even having fun stomping with Satan. They're not even having good fun.
That since Robbie said that you get better ratings when you talk about Mormons, we should all do we should all get the new Mormon faction for War Machine. Crusade. And be painting them up on stream every week so we can talk about Mormons officially every week.
In context.
Yeah.
This is a Mormon-centric hour of fun, I think, now.
The only thing I question is that you don't have any sister wives to, like, put as the sidelines for them.
You know what? I tell you what, these days, the market being the way it is, it's just not feasible financially, Rich.
That'd be the Blood Bowl edition of Trench Crusade.
Well, yeah, but they just be on the sidelines.
Oh, you guys know Conquest? Last Argument of Kings.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got my army ready to play.
Oh,
nice.
Really?
Everyone's telling me the game is really cool. So some things I know about it. Number 1, you have like a card system that determines like initiative. You have like a deck of cards and you play those cards from the top, and that's what goes each order. Number 2, not all units start on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, it's much more about movement and positioning than it is about dealing damage and destroying units. Units are very rarely destroyed. They're more often routed.
So it's basically old fantasy.
That's the idea.
Which, of course, was just Napoleonics.
But I always felt like old fantasy was always mired in the fact that magic was super overpowered.
Well, it went back and forth. It was like psychic powers in 40K.
Right now, psychic power.
If you built your army right in Warhammer Fantasy, in every edition I played, magic played no role in the game.
Oh, really? Talk to me about it. I know you're an old fantasy.
You had lots of control over magic between having, I would always field wizards for the sole purpose to counter the other person's magic.
Okay, that's cool.
If you try to just cast a lot of good spells, then yeah, maybe, and if the opponent didn't counter it, which there was a lot of ability to counter between Dispel Scrolls. You just had to shut them down for 2 rounds of the 4 rounds or 5 rounds you'd be playing, and then Magic wouldn't matter that much.
Okay, well then maybe I had the wrong impression. It just always seemed to me when like
armies like the orcs could be really, but it was all luck. It wasn't like consistent. You couldn't predict that.
I remember, and this is my fault for playing a skew list. It wouldn't have been so devastating if my list was something more than a bunch of Stegodons and shit. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But I remember a vampire count had the ability via like, I think it was like a spell scroll and like an item that let him like infiltrate along like my sides. He cast Purple Sun of Xerxes in some manner. He could only do it once per game, but in a way that was undispellable. And I think every single Stegodon got dragged to hell by the Purple Sun.
Yeah, it was basically the old Vortex template.
Yeah. I don't know. Stuff like that I think is a little silly sometimes.
That can happen, but it's like the perfect storm of events.
Right. He really got me.
And if you don't know what you're doing, you don't have the proper way, because even total power can be minimized.
Right.
So, and total power, if you got it, like you pretty much, it was a chance. It wasn't it was two 6s.
Was there a scroll though that made it so that any doubles?
The power scroll, yeah. But again, the key is make sure he doesn't get it off, and that can be something you do, or make sure your units are protected, or there's a counter.
Yeah, I am sure I could have countered. I'm sure there's something I could have done.
Yeah, you just have to have the experience. I mean, my goal was to make the Magic phase not happen. And if you build your wizard that way, like, you don't build your wizard to be aggressive, you build your wizard to just stop the Magic phase from happening. Because if you stop the Magic phase from happening, then you if you're a good player, you'll win. But
part of their strategy needs it.
The swinginess of Magic can make it so even if you're a great player, Magic could go one direction on you, and you end up, all the predictability is gone from the game.
Right.
So you want to take Magic and make it not happen, which kind of sucks because it is a fantasy game and you want Magic. But like you said,
a lot of game developers nowadays, they don't ever do counter Magic or anything like counter Magic in games anymore, because they try to reduce that feeling of like not being allowed to play Magic when you play against a blue player kind of thing.
Yeah, the shutdown. Yeah, I mean, blue players just want to play Magic by themselves.
Yeah. I remember I was at a tournament at Jester's for Magic. And I was playing against a guy who was playing like he was new, but he had made it to round 3 undefeated because he was just wielding a really good red deck wins deck. And even if you're new, sometimes red deck wins can just, be there, right? Like, you play cards, deal damage, fling lightning bolt at face, And we get to round 3 and we're playing, and we only played 2 rounds because I won both times, but I was just playing a blue-black control deck that's only source of killing your opponent was Nephalia Drownyard, which was a land that you could tap at the end of your turn to mill 3 cards from your opponent. So that's my only win condition. And
I always, every time I play against one of those, I say, do you have a plan to win, or are you just waiting until I lose here? Like,
he looks at me, it's turn 8, and all of his creatures have been killed, and I've counterspelled everything that's mattered. And he looks at me and he goes, does your deck do anything though? And I'm like, very slowly. I'm like, it's like suffocating someone with a pillow. I just Nephalia Drownyard you.
Yep, that's the way Magic should go. But the nice thing is, in Warhammer, you then have a whole army to fight with. So you actually have something to do. The whole goal, though, is that Magic doesn't play a role in it.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to switch it to you, Rich. Oh.
I really love this deck tan. It's such a great color.
Looks very rich.
It's a very nice base coat for white. I really like it a lot.
Dusty,
I
would you
think I
get up
got all
to
the
this?
base coats done.
What was that, Robbie?
I said, what'd you get up to this week? Or are you doing something? You want me to leave you alone?
Oh no, I'm finishing off some wash on this Ravener and then eating dinner just got placed in front of me. I mean we still have the Kickstarter going for Botany Floral Dragons and that passed 615 today.
615.
That's going super well. And we're just getting the print run ready for that. And we've got some other games that we're printing at the pre-printing at the same time. So that's been busy. I figured out today I have some friends that want to play Warhammer just anything, but Kill Team is what we're going to start with remote.
Okay.
And I figured out how to do a multi-camera setup. But the problem with that is you start to have bandwidth issues. And so what I figured out is if you set up multiple cameras, and I got stands and I got overheads and I got all kinds of nice stuff, and you can see everything super well at any given time. And then what you do is you give them, Chrome has a extension that allows them to have just remote access. Like it's just a simple version of like Citrix or whatever. And
I remember Citrix.
it's still active, believe it or not. But then they can go in and kind of like you do in any meeting thing, you can select your camera. And so we got it set up. So I had, cameras on either side and angles. I had the overhead camera and I was using the same document camera that you guys recommended for painting and stuff up above the board. And then with the mouse, they can switch cameras at any time. And then if I look at the screen, they can use the mouse to point at exactly what they want to move, exactly where they want to move it, and then just verify with measuring.
That's very
neat. Why didn't you just use TTS?
Because we want to play with the stuff we painted.
Well, you can probably 3D scan it in.
Yeah. It's also, unsanctioned and janky, I've heard in places.
Yeah.
TTS is very janky. I'm not gonna lie.
I spend a great deal of time making sure my stuff can't get stolen on TTS. It also feels a little wrong.
Oh, like people putting your game on TTS?
Yeah, and TTS is one of the number one sources of board game publishers. Like everybody's like, I want to make my game available during my Kickstarter. And so they put it on TTS and then they just load their high-res files. And when you load anything on TTS, it downloads the files of the game you're playing onto your system. And I'm not talking like a Unity package. It's just the literal files. And so I've had multiple friends get their games stolen and knocked off on Amazon and stuff in mass. So
there's going to be a lot more of that, Dusty. Don't you worry.
Yep.
Don't you worry. That's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, Kickstarter's going great. Phenomenal. So.
Well, that's awesome. I'm super glad.
Hey, Rob, I got a game, and Dusty, you might like it too. Have you guys played or seen Compile?
Compile? Tell us about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a have you played Smash Up?
Yes.
Okay.
I have not.
So in Smash Up, you're trying to get the different zones and and control. And in this, you're playing in a cyberpunky world, and you're trying to compile your program and then execute the program to take over the base effectively on your side of the board.
Who made this game, by the way?
It's made by Luma. Well, it's made by Synapse. It's the name of the company. I've heard the sales numbers. It's insane. Like, it's literally, like, Dave Lapp was telling me that his friends at Gen Con were borrowing his exhibit badge so they could get to the hall early because it was selling out within 15 minutes every day.
Dang.
And you're drafting from, if you have the base game, it's like 12 different cards, which have a different style. And you're drafting, I draft one, you draft two, I draft two, and then I get the last one and you get the last one. And then that makes your deck. Each one has 18 cards in it, each faction, and it's like war, peace, chaos, ice, you know, all different themes, and each one's theme is, you know, like ice is more about traps, so like intrusion countermeasures. And then as you're playing, you're trying to get 10 to a side, so 10 points or more on each base. If you get 10, you have to compile it. And when you compile it, or if you have 10 and you have the most points, you have to compile it. When you compile it, you pick the base over, and now it's yours. And then all those cards get discarded. And but each card has 3 abilities on it. You know, a top, a middle, and a bottom. The top one is a always active one. The middle one is triggered whenever the card is turned over, and then the bottom one is usually a end of round action that you're doing. But whenever you place a card on top of the card above it, so you cover that ability over, unless it's the last card on the stack that's visible.
Is this tied to greater than games, by the way?
Well, it used to be greater than games.
Okay.
And then it went to Luma was doing their distribution, and
Why do I know greater than games, Rich?
they did
Because
Sentinels
they just got axed by Flat River Group.
Well, yeah, but see, Luma was part of that.
Yeah, but when did I work with them in some capacity?
No, I don't think so.
Do we have a booth next to them often?
They do Sentinel. They were famous when you were there. It was famous for Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Oh yeah, they were across from us at KamoriCon, right?
Game Nerds has compiled main 2. Is that
There's
a
2
playable
different
version?
starter sets, and then there's a bunch of booster packs for it. It's available on
check
Amazon. $23, I think, on Amazon. Anyway,
nice.
we played it tonight. It was very good. It was very fun. I want to play more of it, because we didn't even get to figure out like each faction basically and what the best combos were and stuff.
Oh, cool.
But
I like
and then-
Cyberpunk. I just got the new Netrunner.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. It was print and play, but we ordered like actually printed.
uh-huh.
Nice quality cards. Put them all
Yeah,
in
I
box.
like Netrunner. I learned
that?
how to Netrunner from Richard Garfield.
I like the Netrunner game a lot.
96 in Atlantic City, when Gamma was in Atlantic City.
Wow,
Uh,
what
Here I
heights.
opened my store.
I
was
like
out-
the asymmetrical gameplay of Netrunner.
Yeah, that's that. I think BattleTech was a better version of it.
Oh,
BattleTech
really?
card- Yeah, the BattleTech card game was really fun. It kind of had more Magic elements to it, but what I liked about it was what it improved over Magic is you didn't have to cast a card right away. You were basically building tokens on it, you know, kind of like Netrunner.
Okay.
Then when you reached its threshold, it would be built. So you'd be building it turn after turn, but there were trap cards effectively that if somebody attacked it, because you could attack any spot on the battlefield, kind of like Netrunner.
Sure.
So you could attack their discard pile, you could attack their deck, you could attack their building mechs and
Sure,
everything. And then they could intercept with mechs that were active. But if they attacked it and it was one of the trap cards, the number of tokens on it usually was how it did damage back.
Oh, so they kind of worked like the what do they call it in Netrunner? The Kyoshi.
Yeah, maybe.
They have like they're the trap faction. They have the neural katana and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's. I mean, Netrunner was clearly the precursor to BattleTech.
I still have all my BattleTech TCG cards.
Yeah, it was good. The BattleTech TCG was very good. It was Richard Garfield again, and it was. I think if it wasn't BattleTech as a theme, it could have been. You know, if it had another theme, it probably would have done really well.
Really, you think the BattleTech theme held it back?
Yeah,
I don't see BattleTech players
people who
carrying.
played Magic didn't touch it, right? Because it was a mech game, right? It wasn't, and it was based on the BattleTech art, which is not the best, right? It was very dated art, but yeah, it was. If it wasn't BattleTech, I think it would have done really well. Mechanically, it was very nice. So
I also just don't see, like, you know, when you use a title, you're using it for a reason, right? Like if you make a Mega Man card game, it's because you believe Mega Man fans will also be into card games, right? Thus, you can target that super niche demographic, serve it, and get some extra dollars via not just making Mega Boy the card game and it not having anything to do with Mega Man, right? I just don't think of the classic image of a BattleTech player also being into cards.
No, and that's I mean, there, miniatures players in general, not every miniatures player though, has a certain level of animosity to card players.
It's true.
Because they take up their space and they're annoying and they do this and this and this and this.
And they do terrible things like keep the lights on at the store.
Yeah, exactly. And so
keep the hardworking people there fed.
Yeah. But they're taking our table space. We want to paint miniatures or we want to do whatever it is. And so I think that there's a certain animosity between
definitely
between card players and miniatures players, and
this is why I hate myself.
It's Montagues and Capulets if the Montagues didn't know who the Capulets were.
Right.
And if there were any girls involved at all.
Well, I'm just saying it's a very asymmetrical feud. Warhammer players are like, I hate Magic players, and they cross their arms and get mad. And then if you were like, hey, Magic players, what do you think of Warhammer players? They'd go, what's Warhammer?
No, they'd say, oh, yeah, I love those commander decks.
Yeah, well, that's a cool commander deck. They can play it in our pod.
I do love those commander decks.
Bought them just as a collector's item. They're sitting sleeved up. Or not as a collector's item. They're sleeved up, and if people come over and we have like 4 nerds, well, instead of playing Commander where one person has a super OP broken Commander deck and 3 other people keep their mouth open so they can catch flies as a savings mechanism. That's not very fair. But if it's 4 precons, the 4 Warhammer precons, that's a fun commander pod,
Yep.
So Dusty, I was telling Robbie we're going to Vegas this weekend.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that for the class, right?
Yeah, Kaha's class.
Nice.
Looking forward to that. And then the following week is Adepticons. So back to back. The Kaha class wasn't planned. It was she had an opening at the last minute. We signed up for the wait list and everybody's like, yeah, you're not going to get on it.
Is Adepticon in Vegas this year?
No, Adepticon's in Milwaukee, but we're going.
Oh,
okay. We go out to Vegas and then fly back, and then 2 days later we fly to Milwaukee.
I understand. I got you. Okay, cool. I mean, that should be fun.
Yeah, both are going to be. I mean, for me, it's very relaxing. I'm not doing so much work. I mean, I am going to be helping the guys from Mineworks at Adepticon a little bit. I'm helping them get their stuff there, but I'm not actually running a booth. But I do have clients now who want a booth there, so I have to find out this year how we can get a booth for next year.
If you see anybody from Redgrass, if you could do me a favor and say, what the hell were you thinking with the Painter's Arsenal cards?
Why?
That confounds me.
Why?
Because I got out my Redgrass, the new wet palette you suggested. Super nice. I really like it. It's been working great all day. They had a little booster pack of Painter's Arsenal cards, and I was like, I was like, oh, these are cool. Oh, wow, these are actually really cool and super handy. If I'm like, oh, how should I paint lion fur? How should I paint this or that? I'm like, this is phenomenal. I'm gonna go grab the deck, and I go, and I'm like, wait, and it actually took me about 12 minutes or so to figure out that they're not actually for sale. You just get them for free with every order, except it's a company with like 4 products. So realistically, how often am I going to order from them and get enough boosters to make the set?
If you go to LVO, they gave them out in every class that you took an LVO to.
Okay, great. So then I still have there's like 60 something cards, and by the time I'm done with class, what do I have? Like maybe
You hear that, Dusty? All you need to do is sign up for about $2,000 worth of hotels, tickets,
Yes.
airline to get 30 cents worth of cards.
And why a booster pack? Just sell me the thing. Just be like, I mean, if they charge me $50, I'd probably pay it. Like,
Get the did you sign up for the Ninja decks?
yes, I did. Yep.
Yeah, me too. They should be shipping in another month.
But those are more like color palette decks, right? They're not like technique.
No.
I want some. I just want something like this
Let
where
me
I'm,
know which
rather
ones
than
you
having to
need.
like.
I probably have some to trade you, Dusty.
Who does?
I do.
Well, I only have one booster pack, so I got nothing to trade.
Well, I'll look at my duplicates and let you know what I have.
Okay, that'd be cool. I mean,
So every class we took, and then every time I've ordered from Gridgrass, I've gotten them. So
there's not many people that many companies that I feel compelled to say something to, and I was like on the edge of sending an email today, being like, guys, come on.
They'll probably just send you some. They don't care. They're not. Like
I saw a bunch of people asking on their Facebook, like, hey, how do we just get a set of these? And they're like, all you have to do is keep buying products from us and we'll send you a free booster pack every time. And they were like, that is not the question I asked you.
They probably thought nobody's going to pay for these.
I mean, come on. I would pay for them right now. Call me up, Redgrass. Here I am. I have a credit card ready.
I'll see if I can grab you some when I'm at the Adepticon or at Verco's. They were the ones giving them out at LVO.
Nice. Yeah, Adepticon would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. Andre told me he went once and he wondered why he questioned every decision he'd ever made that did not have him at Adepticon on any day of his
I was
life.
like, you gonna be there? He's like, no, I can't. I'm like, oh man. He's what's he playing? Kill Team now, he was telling me.
Andre is, yeah.
Yeah. And Kill Team is okay. I wouldn't choose to play it. It's
I think Kill Team sucks.
It's too magic-y. Too magic.
Yeah, I like playing a miniatures game. I'm sorry. Not a weird magic clone where I push around miniature tokens.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about today on the stream before you guys showed up. I was saying, like, you know, people who don't paint their miniatures, it's like, what's the point? Just play a board game.
Or a Simon game.
Yeah, it's like it's just a board game. You're just playing a board game if you don't paint your miniatures. What's the point? The whole point.
Yeah, there's also plenty of Warhammer board games.
I mean, I think of the three of us here, if you wanted to like define glacially slow, that's me. And I still am like, you know, it just feels wrong. Like some of these commission sites where they're like, we'll paint your whole army for you. I'm like, that's like the cowboy that didn't earn the belt buckle.
Well,
I just don't think it's good value.
I don't care how you got it painted. That's not my point. My point is that I'm there to play a miniatures game, which is supposed to transport me into a miniatures world. Something since I was a little kid I loved. And if you're playing a miniatures game without painted miniatures, then you're not doing any of that for me, which makes the game not satisfying.
How am I supposed to learn in a school made for ants?
Yeah, it's crazy.
To me, I like playing with painted armies on painted terrain, and that's a part of the experience to me.
I mean, you play it in a lot more stuff, like in public and stuff, Robbie, but I think it's got to be getting worse and worse. I mean, among my group, it's worse and worse. If I don't paint the miniatures, they don't get painted.
The more competitive the player is, the more painted it is.
Right, but they're probably paying somebody to paint it or something.
You know what, though? Better than playing them not.
Yeah,
you know?
fine. I just, like, the guys I play with, they most of them, like, all they do is sit home and play video games. It's like, you guys have plenty of time to paint. Yeah, I don't like painting.
The painting, yeah, that's it. I think I have thought about this, and I think it comes down to the difference between instant gratification and a developed skill, and that, I mean, that's been disappearing for years now.
Yeah, it's.
I derive an incredible amount of satisfaction from looking at, you know, the first miniature I painted, which was, you know, like only like one miniature ago, 3 years ago, and the second miniature I'm currently painting.
Yeah.
And seeing the progression.
Yeah, I get it, but you don't like with the current technology of paints, you don't have to spend that much time. You can get an army. I could.
Oh no, you could slap chop something to be done in like super fast.
I used to get armies done before any of that stuff in no time. Now I could get an army done in a day, easily, like at least a kill team in a day.
All right, hold on. I got something for you guys. You ready? Hold on 1 second. I'm pulling it up. Very famous. Give me 1 moment.
We're waiting, Robbie. We're waiting.
You're gonna have to wait a second longer.
Holding on to the edge of my seat.
Why is the internet useless now?
Because it's all AI.
Sure. Anyway, I was going to read a 2,500-year-old tablet we have in which a man complains the youth today, they're so obsessed with chalk that they don't even know how to etch a tablet like he did. I think the main issue is that to become a good painter takes time.
Yes. Well, that's what I was getting at. Not the youth, just the time, the investment of time.
Good painters will always tend to skew older because in order to be good, you have to dedicate 20 years to this crap.
You should say Squidmars just did their painting contest.
Yeah.
And they just aired it. The Young Bloods, oh my God. The Young Bloods. We were talking about that, but there are Young Bloods that will smoke some of the best painters in the...
Well, and I find this in all walks of life. He's not 13 anymore, I guess, but there used to be this 13-year-old at the jiu-jitsu gym I go to, who I am a 240-pound adult man, and he can beat me sublimely with technique that I've only seen like old pros have. It's just, it's the vivid effect. We only remember the people who are outliers and only remember the people who are happy about it, right? I think that there's young, good painters, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, you watch that Squidmar video, it's some of them Young Bloods stuff is way better than even the master stuff.
It's awesome. And imagine what painting miniatures will look like in 30 years, Rich. Because when you were painting miniatures back in the day, you weren't thinking to yourself how crazy his mini's going to look in 30 years, At least I wasn't 20 years ago.
Well, all that really changes is the style. The technique is still the same. The technique is 1,000 years old. So the technique ain't going to change. People think it does. Slap chop's not anything new.
Yeah, I'll never forget Paul saying, "Isn't slap chop just grisaille?" Like,
yeah, it's grisaille. Yeah, that's all it is. That's how Marco teaches it, as grisaille. So
I'm more like I think painting technology has really advanced in some fun ways. I would say these paints are easier to use than they were back in the day.
Well, yeah, but that was like metallics that was like the last change.
Just this yellow I'm using right now. Look at it covering in almost one. Yeah, I'm going to do too thin coats, but like it's almost there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I remember Evil Sun Yellow in those tiny little GW pots. That was like me trying to like paint the Sistine Chapel with a rock. It's possible, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I think now like we're at a point where it's minute changes, not drastic changes.
Oh yeah, it's like toothpaste. We already invented fluoride, which means the only major advancement in toothpaste that has existed in the past 2,500 years is fluoride.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just sand and a thing.
Or as our Secretary of Health calls it, the devil's juice.
Ah, yeah. I'm glad. I cannot wait
God.
to go
It-
to my
You know what? If I had any advice for a kid's future, it's become a dentist. Dentists were like starving because of fluoride. Now they're getting rid of fluoride in the water. Dentists are going to have a lot of work in the future.
I don't know if you know this, but dentists have unusually high suicide rate amongst other professions similar.
They also die early too.
Well, that's because they're huffing nitrous oxide all day.
Nitrous and the X-rays.
Yeah. You know, an X-ray is not that big of a deal unless you're
Yeah.
shooting 1,000 of them a day, you know?
Yep. Yeah, somebody was telling me that like dentists have the lowest, one of the lowest scores, or lowest death, like ages of death.
You know, it's another really bad job.
What's that?
My parents always used to talk about it in New Jersey, where I'm from, as this cushy job. You had to know some.
Oh,
You had
toll collector.
toll collector. That's right, Rick. See,
Yeah.
all right, you know, and
Yeah,
that job is awful.
Yeah.
You will die
That's right.
so quick.
They got rid of all the toll collectors in California. It's all automated now.
Yeah, pretty much New Jersey now. They're all gone. It's tollless. I mean, it was a good job. You know, back in 1980, you were getting $15 an hour, which was crazy to just sit there and take money. But they only got to do it for a few years.
Yeah, you don't need to think about retirement either, which is nice. It's a load
Yeah.
off, right?
Yeah, my parents used to go to a local bar in Cape May, well, in the villas, and a bunch of the people that would go there were toll collectors, and they would go to their funeral like every 3 or 4 months. Like, oh yeah, he died
That
again.
bar,
Oh,
Jake.
oh, lung cancer. That's like the third guy. What's going on? Is there something going on with this?
Yeah, I'm really happy with how these performed. Played against the Dark Angels yesterday. Abaddon and his chosen cohort. I don't know. Abaddon's really good, but the chosen kind of suck. And it seems like the chosen are there only to take hits for Abaddon. They basically are 30 additional wounds for Abaddon, if that makes sense.
Just the blade of God.
Things were really good. The Vindicators were really good. One Vindicator did 26 damage in a single turn.
Nice.
A Lancer, which is cool. But yeah, so I'm at another Predator taking out the Obliterators. Here's my problem with the Obliterators, and GW always does this. Always does this. Obliterators have a 4-inch movement, which means it's really hard to use them because their base is almost 4 inches wide.
Right.
So navigating terrain and such, it's very challenging. In Warhammer, since the dawn of time, when Warhammer players were using bone dice and hitting each other with rocks and sticks to represent the fight phase, fast gun has always been better than strong gun.
Yeah.
Fast gun, good. Same thing. I bet this has always been true in fantasy too, because it's true in 40K. Fast melee, better than good melee. Because fast melee can charge the guy on the side that has
That
no
went
melee.
back and forth though, like because like
I can
Calvary
still
used,
hear you for a second. Go blow my nose.
Calvary used to be the best thing ever, but then in like the last edition before they got rid of it, Calvary was like whatever. Now I don't know if Calvary is as big a deal. I mean, you get more movement, but you get a lot of movement in Age of Sigmar anyway, so even a base guy gets a lot of movement.
I don't know as much about Age of Sigmar, so I don't know that one super well. Here, I'm gonna switch it to one of you guys. But anyway, here's my AI tank so far. Also, really like the way these Iron Warriors look on the field. The yellow hazard striping, very cool. Dusty, I'm going to make you the camera, so you got to put the guy in there. There you go. You have a little bit more light, like the tuck.
Yep.
Having her looking good.
There we go.
Dusty, when we're done this, email me your phone number. I want to create a group chat where before the stream, you guys text me what you're painting that night so I can put it in the title. Sound good?
Have you,
cut out there.
Robbie, on a different note, have you read Jeb Blunt?
Oh, no. What is this?
Fanatical Prospecting is his book.
Okay. What's it about?
Sales prospecting.
Oh, cool. Just is outbounding, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, basically doing your prospecting, so effectively, keeping your pipeline full.
Yeah. It's challenging. Pretty much my whole job I call plate spinning. Like I even refer to my closed loss pile. My closed loss pile is my closed loss for now. Who knows for later? You know what I mean? That's why I do all that video content, because what I find works nowadays, especially with AI automation, basically flooding channels to the point of uselessness, is I really like talking to people in person. And then once they've met me once in person, all of the follow-up content I send them is videos with my face and voice.
Yeah.
So, yep, exactly.
But he talks about like strategies on prospecting.
Cool.
Thing called the golden hour, which is like the first couple hours you're at work is when you should do all your prospecting.
That's the only time I do it, like at 8 o'clock in the morning, because that's the only time anybody's going to answer their damn phone either.
Well, he said that a lot of people get annoyed when you tell them, but that's okay. They answer. All that matters is they answer.
Passion, Rich.
Yeah.
Passion is good.
Yep. No, it's a really good series. He's got a whole bunch of videos on it. What I actually did this week was I actually had used AI kind of smartly, I think, I want to say. Is I had AI make me up a curriculum.
Oh, right. Instead of like reference books to read and stuff like that.
Of what books to read. Not actually tell me what the books are about, just what books I should read. And
my company's having us test some software, and that's the only use that I feel comfortable is saying, hey AI, tell me all news articles that mention this person and just send me the links to the articles.
Yep.
I will read them. You know what I mean? You don't read them.
I had to give me the books, and then I had to give me videos. And then one of the things that was actually pretty fun is I had to give me a test based on the book. So the first 10 chapters of the book the other day. And it was a little easy, but like if you didn't read the book, it would have been really hard. Sure. But it's a real interesting book, and he's got tons of videos, and you can pay a lot of money to go to his seminars and everything. But I think you can get most of what you need from the book.
Me and an old boss of mine, we used to talk about how we're like, man, you know what we should be doing? Like selling things. We should write a book on selling things and then sell to salespeople.
Yeah, they're the easiest. Scammers are the easiest to scam. So that salespeople are easier to sell to.
The biggest line in sales for car sales is that salespeople are the biggest laydowns in the world.
Yeah. Well, if people think they're too smart, it's real easy to get them.
Sure is. Sure is. Also, me, like if a guy comes to the door to try and sell me something, I'm like, well, I used to do this, so I gotta hear him out because people heard me out. You know,
Right.
I gotta pay that karmic wheel, right? Like some idiot listened to me one time, like 30 years ago, and now I sell stuff. So, like,
Yeah.
I gotta listen to some idiots every now and again, right, to give them a chance.
Yeah, it's it's a cool little like series. I got like 5 books to read over the next month and a half, and I'm trying to basically take the crash course in refining my sales. So
Well, I'll tell you what, Rich, that's a lot cooler than what they used to do at this one place I worked at. They would play clips from different sales movies to get everyone pumped up in the beginning, but it would always be like from like Boiler Room or Glengarry Glen Ross. And I'd always lean over to this old guy, Ed Albright. He was just didn't want him to retire, so he sold cars. He was like in his 70s, right? And I'd lean over to Ed. I'm like, you know, they never show us the end of any of these movies. I wonder if there's a reason for that. I wonder if anything happens to all the salespeople in all of these movies. I wonder if anything tragic and awful happens to them.
never.
Never, ever, ever. Oh my.
Being a salesman is the ultimate in society.
Yep. Willie Loman has a golden statue to him.
Yeah, it's like the prospecting thing is really interesting because trying to adapt it to what I do is the hard part, because what I realized is we have 3 pipelines, and trying to balance the pipelines and then make sure each one is full is actually pretty challenging.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of, because friction creates friction, right? Like,
Yeah.
Basically you have to be on a treadmill pushing things forward, because things getting pushed forward causes things to get pushed forward.
Yeah, one of the things he talks about is the 90-day rule, that what you do now affects your sales in 90 days.
That's exactly right. I even think what you do now affects your sales to next year. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, but what he says then is if you take a month off of or a week off of prospecting, and
just
like
put a bullet in the chamber for a little while from now.
you have you have an empty line, and then you won't see the correlation because you'll be like, why are we so dead? Why do we have no sales? But you don't realize it was 90 days ago when you actually made that decision.
I think recently, having switched to this job about 4 years ago, it was the first time I was working in like a year-long sales cycle. And it really just opened my eyes to like things I thought were important that weren't for this type of sales, and things that I didn't think were important that were,
Well, like with mine, with my job, you have the sales pipeline, which is just distributor sales, which is still, needs to be filled, and it can be filled like how I've used to do it, and I kind of haven't done it as much, is trying to sign up new distributors to sell the old stuff to, and then selling the new stuff to the current distributors.
Makes sense, right? Because
that's one pipeline. But then the next pipeline is the localization pipeline, which is getting companies to localize it. But one of the things is we keep going to the same trough, and I see that happening over and over again. They have too much stuff. And so what we need to do is find like the tier 2 and tier 3 localizers and kind of reach out to them, because while the numbers will be smaller for the stuff we can't get localized, it's they're the only option maybe.
Right.
And then on the other side of me is the clients. I have to have, as certain clients can't make their bills or they don't sell anything anymore and they drop out of the pipeline, I need new clients in the wings to replace them. And so that's something I'm pretty good at. But
so one way I find to keep my channel full is I have just alerts set up on everyone who becomes a client of mine. And if they switch jobs, I will get a ping or a notice. If they have any announcement, like they become CTO, they were IT before, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And all I do is I congratulate them and nothing more. That's it. I don't say, hey, we should talk sometime, or hey, I was thinking about you lately. I saw that you got that promotion, and what do you think about lining something up for next week? Blah, blah, blah. That gets no responses. But
Right.
hey, man, saw that you got the new position. Congrats on being blah, blah, blah. That's really cool, dude. Everyone at Cardin extends their congrats to you. Everyone responds to.
Right.
What I basically mean to say is sales, it's fine to let the implicit stay implicit. I'm a salesperson. If I reach out to you, I want to sell you something. So I don't even need to say it.
Right.
If that tracks. I don't know. It's helped me, I guess. And making the videos has really helped. Just useful content that's entertaining.
We started doing a daily newsletter to retailers.
Oh, cool. We do what we call the Cardin Corner. That's an idea I added on.
Well, I got mine idea from Arnold, because that's what Arnold does. He has a daily email.
Well, do you know how? I'm sure you do. Who am I talking to here? Rich knows that Arnold initially made all of his money before even Hollywood called, any of that. Was basically putting out a zine of what was his? It was just a picture of his bicep, right? It was just
no. It was he would get pictures shot when he did the magazines for Joe Weider, and then part of the deal was he would get pictures, and then he'd put them together, put a workout in there, and he'd put ads in Muscle and Fitness and all these different things like free learn to work out, thing, or not free, but send me $5 and I'll send you a workout. And It was just like a 2-page photocopied workout. And he would sell, he made a lot of money using them.
It's brilliant, right?
Yeah.
And how resourceful, too. That guy who's taking those pictures, he didn't see any more value in them, But there was value to be had. I don't know.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's a cool dude.
Imagine though, you were one of them subscribers now and you kept all them. How much money they'd be worth? Because you have pictures when he was, in the 60s. You could take him to a collector's show.
You ever seen Hercules in New York?
Oh God, so bad.
What I love about it is it has this trope of like early Arnold Schwarzenegger movies where characters threaten him. Like a taxi driver gets out of his car, or like a snooty college kid and Hercules in New York, not Escape from New York. Hercules in New York. There's like a snooty college kid, and he says to Arnold in like the 80s, the early 80s, "You are no athlete. Give me that discus." And then Arnold throws it. What's that?
That was in the 70s.
That was the 70s. Jeez, you guys had cameras back then?
81 was, or 80 was Conan.
Did you do Terminator or Conan first?
Conan. But
Conan's
Streets of San Francisco.
I like every movie with Arnold in it, pretty much, actually.
Yeah.
Even the stupid ones.
Even Junior. Did you say he just announced that that they're working on Conan the King Conan?
Oh, cool! He's always talked about doing that movie.
Yeah. He announced it officially. They're waiting for somebody, I think, a writer to finish it, and then they're going to start.
Have him sitting on the throne for the announcement.
Yep. Well, it was at the Arnold Classic in Ohio last weekend.
My favorite Arnold story is the first time Arnold becomes king of a kingdom, and he finds it.
Are you talking about Conan or Arnold?
Conan the Barbarian, the book.
You said Arnold.
Well, come on.
He is the same, I know.
He is Conan, but It's just a really well done story. I think it was done in the Dark Horse Conan.
Uh-huh.
What was that one called?
Well, there was a couple of them. Conan the Barbarian.
The
Conan
good
the Savage Sword of Conan.
Not Savage Sword.
Conan the Cimmerian.
The one where the framing device is the Middle Eastern prince is being told stories of this barbarian.
Well, that's every Conan story. It starts out,
Okay, I'm not being helpful.
Yo, O Prince, I'll hear you tale of the time before the ocean swallowed Atlantis.
Yeah, this is a story where Conan basically befriends this king. They hang out for a little bit, and then the king tragically dies. And in the mix of all of this is the king's son who believes he should be king, but the king didn't think he was ready, so he gave it to Conan. Conan's king for a couple of years, and he's fucking miserable.
Yeah. That's that was the Greek city state for
Well, and remember his son, the jilted son, comes back at the end, and he like wants to duel Conan, and Conan would dog walk him. Like, if Conan actually dueled this child, he would kill him in 5 seconds.
Yeah, I remember that story. That was a good one.
Yeah, but instead, Conan takes the crown off, and he says, "You can have it," and he tosses it at the kid's feet, and he says, "It's heavy." And great story, great, love it. There's also another great one where Conan, what I love about Conan that people don't understand is he's not just a barbarian. He's willing to try anything once. He thinks it's silly most of the time. But like this dude in this city that's like Egypt-esque kind of city, the guy's like, "I'm a thief." And Conan's like, blah. Thieving is easy. And the guy's like, "I bet you I thief better than you." And that's all Conan's really about. Is he's like, "Hold on, you're not, I don't want to be a thief, but if I was a thief, I'd be the best thief." That's how Conan is.
Yeah.
So they go to this tower that has an alien living in the basement.
Tower of the Elephant. I sent you that comic they just redid the comic.
Oh, I love the way they did him as like an elephant.
Well, that's the way he is in the story, in the original
I
story.
know, but I always interpreted that as maybe Conan trying to put words to something he couldn't comprehend.
Yeah.
You know, like he saw a trunk, you know.
That was one of the ones that kind of crossed into the Lovecraftian story.
Yeah, as the being speaks of Nagral.
Yep.
Which spelled a little bit different than Nurgle, but I know that the Nurgle guy, Elric, the one you love.
Elric. That's not Nurgle.
Yeah, isn't Elric has chaos gods and a realm of chaos, and
he worships Ariok.
Right. The Nurgle, the Nagral is from a Conan story where there's a black knight who can remove his helmet and his eyes hypnotize you because he worships Nagral.
Yeah.
And what I love is if
it's Nurgle. It's Nurgle, Noir.
Nurgle, yeah, that's it. What I love about Conan stories is they keep setting up this black knight who can remove his helmet and hypnotize anyone. And at the very end of the story, he's fighting Conan. So, of course, what does he do? He takes off his helmet to hypnotize Conan. And then the book offers no explanation, but this hypnotism does not work on Conan at all. So Conan looks at him like he's confused and he's like waiting for something to happen to him.
Okay,
And then
what's next?
Yeah, then he just cuts the guy's head off. Like he looks behind him, looks around, like he's like, "All right, man, if that was your big move, here's my big move. I cut your head off."
Yeah.
There's a great Conan story where he robs another place, not the Tower of the Elephant. And basically the guy who runs it is a senator in like Rome, like fake Rome. And the senator starts debating law with Conan. And once again, Conan has been challenged to a debate. He's gonna debate, you know. He's the best. He's Conan. Anything he attempts, he will be good at. So he debates this senator, and they kind of have like a fun, like little repartee. And like Conan's very clever. He's not an idiot. Like
Yes.
He might not know how to like read, but he's very clever.
Oh, he can read.
He can read. Okay. Well, sorry, Conan. Sorry for thinking you couldn't read.
Better
But anyway,
watch it. Kick your ass.
yeah, he's very smart, is what I'm saying. So anyway, he debates this guy, and the guy beats him because Conan hasn't
That
learned.
right. Like they got some of that right in the movie. If you watch, he's like learning to read in the East.
Yeah, they a little bit. They're close. Even that one that a lot of people hate, but I don't think is terrible. I just think the actor wasn't very charismatic. They got to play Conan. I can't remember what.
Don't say the Jason Momoa one.
No, not that one. The he's like a.
Which one?
It's not Jason Momoa, is it?
Yes, it is.
No way.
Jason Momoa. Jason.
I haven't
Momoa.
seen it since it came out.
You can't. Jason Momoa committed the biggest act of treason to Conan that he can never be forgiven for.
What he
I was
did.
actually at San Diego Comic-Con when he was doing it. When he
What he
said
did?
it. So they interviewed him and they said, "Well, who would win, Conan or Khal Drago?" And he's like, "Of course, Khal Drago." And I'm like, "Dude, there is
Khal
no
Drago,
way.
body
There's no
fight.
way Conan could lose to Khal Drago, because all you have to do is watch the documentary, and when Conan by a witch, he puts his penis in her and then throws her into the fire and then walks off.
That's very
That's
Conan-like.
He gets a scratch from a witch, he's done. That's it.
Takes him
He's
right out. Takes him right out. I'll say this too, just from swordsmanship, like Conan's like on another level. He
Oh,
fights like gods. Like he's
Well, I mean, did Khal Drago fight anybody like for real?
I don't
No.
think so.
Yeah.
No.
So what proof are we going off of here?
right. So that's all I'm saying there. But,
It was very disrespectful is all I'm saying. And then on top of that, I found, he's no longer married to her, but he was also one of my childhood crushes, was his wife for a while.
who's that?
The Cosby daughter.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow. We
they're
can't
divorced
hold
now.
that against him.
but
What I will say, hold on.
The Conan statement can't be forgiven.
I'm just saying that I think a lot of people, when they think about Conan, they flatten his character. He's a very interesting and nuanced character.
Well, the thing that's interesting is because Robert E. Howard was a pretty bad racist.
Yeah.
But if you read Conan, I don't think is as big of a racist as Robert Howard was.
I think Robert Howard projected a lot of what he wanted to be onto Conan. Because Conan is actually quite heroic. He's quite like honorable. Like what I was saying, when he had that debate with that senator, the senator wins. He accedes, hey, you debated better than me. I get it. And then the senator's like, all right, well, guards, take him away to be executed. And Conan's like, oh, no. I'm going to kill everyone in this room. You said you were better at talking than I was. So I had to accept your challenge. But these men are not going to take me away in handcuffs. He's great. He's a great character. And he's not just like
coming from Titan Comics, Robbie.
What's that?
Titan Comics is doing all the Conan series now.
Oh, yeah. Any good?
It's good, yeah. I really enjoy it. I subscribe to it, and they've done some novels too, like not graphic novels, but regular novels.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good stuff.
Cool. We're nearing the end here, so Dusty, why don't you show off what you painted tonight?
I wish I could get the exposure adjusted automatically, but so I started putting.
We need to get Dusty. We need to get a professional with cameras sent over to your house, and they should be able to assist you.
Only there was one in my house.
Only if there were any nearby or anyone.
I have the equipment, but you guys have to get this document camera, and there's something to do with the exposure here between all these lights. It's not auto exposing correctly here. That's a little better, but I started doing the Sotec green highlights on the black carapace, and it looks so good.
Well,
It's not gonna
I'll tell you what, Dusty. It doesn't matter how long it takes for you to paint them. As long as they get done, then they get done.
Yep.
Look really good, man. Love the
I'm
red. It's very alive.
Yeah, it does look really good.
All right, I'm gonna flip it to you, Rich.
Yeah, it's weird how this camera works for exposure because shining more light on it doesn't actually work.
No, because it's auto exposing for like the so it's not a pinpoint auto exposure, it's auto exposing for the entire scale. And so it's picking up whatever's on the background and then dimming things down rather than focusing on what you got in the middle of the camera in the focus.
So that's Drunken Fritz next to regular Fritz.
I love that
Nice.
there's two variants, and I love the idea that he's wearing the hat that the bar maiden was wearing.
Yeah, and there's his hat on his sword there.
That's great. I love it. I love the yellow and red color scheme with the
It
kind of like
definitely stands out.
patterns.
All right, well, I won't be here for the next 2 weeks, guys.
Well, this is my little robot tank. Yellow, gray, blue.
Nice.
Really like this color scheme. I'm going to paint now hazard stripes on it everywhere, and then probably do a little bit more highlighting here and there. Pick out a bunch of things with some red bits just to add some color, and I think it'll be done.
Cool.
Cool. All right, Rich, we'll miss you the next 2 weeks. Dusty, I'll
Yeah.
be here. So
Sounds good.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.